Reincarnation of a businesswoman at school, Chapter 6, A Visit. Ankian didn't want to embarrass Guning, so she took back the check. But since Guning had saved her life, she also felt uncomfortable doing nothing. Thus, after Ankian had taken away the check, she pulled out a name card, handing it to Guning. If you don't want to take the check, then let's be friends. This is my name card. If you need anything in the future, please feel free to call me. As long as I can help, I will spare no effort. Compared with money, network was more precious actually. Gunin didn't reject this time. Not because she was greedy, but Ankian just wanted to make friends with her. If she disagreed again, she would seem arrogant. Moreover, she needed friends and a network. Guning didn't think too highly of herself. She believed a network would be helpful. Of course, she wouldn't make people do things for her. It was totally up to the other's will. Great, then I'll take it. Guning accepted the name card without further ado. Seeing Guning accept the card, Ankian immediately reached out her hand. Nice to meet you. My name is Ankian. Guning held her hand at once. Nice to meet you too. I'm Guning. This was how they officially met. Sorry, I have to go now. My mom will be worried if she can't find me. Please don't tell the police that I'm involved. I don't want to get into any trouble. Then, before Ankian could reply, Guning turned around and left. Hey! Ankian wanted to stop Guning. She hadn't had her phone number yet, but Guning walked too fast. When Ankian ran to the entrance of the stairs, Guning was already gone. But Yang Hao was still there. Ankian couldn't leave, so she gave up. Several minutes later, someone appeared on the open balcony. The head of the hospital was a middle-aged man in a white coat. He was about 50 years old and followed by two male doctors who were around 30 years old. Kian Kian, are you alright? The middle-aged man rushed once Ankian appeared. He asked with worries. Dad, I'm fine, Ankian replied. Great, that's great. Ankian's father was finally relieved seeing Ankian was safe. He then glanced over the open balcony. There was only Yang Hao, who was still unconscious on the ground, and nobody else. Ankian's father asked, where is the girl who has saved your life? Oh, she's gone in case her mother would be worried, and she also doesn't want the police to know her involvement. She doesn't want to get into trouble. Ankian told her father what Guning had said. Did you thank her? Ankian's father asked again. I gave her a check for 500,000 yuan, but she wouldn't accept. Then I handed her my name card to make a friend. She accepted at last. Ankian answered. Ankian's father was surprised too. He now felt more respectful than grateful to Guning. Actually, even if Guning had taken the money, he wouldn't have blamed her for that because she indeed had saved Ankian's life. The An family knew to be thankful if Guning asked for more money. They would give it. Oh, the An family knew to be thankful. If Guning asked for more money, they would give it to her without delay. Guning had come back to the patient's room earlier than Guman had come back to the patient room earlier than Guning. She didn't find Guning and was concerned at once. She dropped a bag of apples going out to search for her daughter. But the minute she left the patient's room, Guning was back. Guman knew she was being overreacted, so she didn't blame Guning. It was a peaceful night. The second morning, Guning's report was out. It said Guning was healthy and was ready to leave the hospital. Seeing the result, Guman was greatly relieved. She packed up immediately, preparing to go home. Guning, I'm here to visit you. Right at that moment, a female voice sounded outside the door. It was Ankian. Guning was a little but not very surprised. Due to what had happened yesterday, it was normal that Ankian would visit her, and it was easy for Ankian to find out which room she was in because Ankian works in the hospital. When Guning had gone yesterday, Ankian then realized Guning or her mother must be a patient in this hospital, or probably she and her mother were here to visit another patient. If Guning was a patient, she could ask the information desk. If Guning's mother was a patient, then it would be impossible for Ankian to find them because she had no idea what was the name of Guning's mother. If they were merely visitors, Ankian thought she might better give up. When Ankian had went back to work and passed by the information desk, she had asked her colleague whether there was a patient named Guning. To her surprise, she was right. So she went to visit her this morning. Miss Anne, welcome. Guning stood up and welcomed her. This must be your mother. Ankian looked at Guman. Yes, Guning answered. Nice to meet you. Guning's mother. My name is Ankian. I'm Guning's friend. Ankian greeted Guman. Actually, Ankian was confused about how to call Guning's mother. Guman was around 40 years old, while she was 27. Guman was merely 10 years her senior. If she called Guman aunt, Guman was younger than her aunt. If she if she called Guman sister, it was inappropriate either. It was inappropriate either because she said she was Guning's friend. Guning was 18 years old and 10 years her junior. If she let Guning call her aunt, Guning wouldn't accept and she wouldn't neither because she wasn't that old to be called aunt. It was an embarrassing age. Ankian hoped she had been in her early 20s. If she had been in her early 20s, she would have been young and free and wouldn't be worried about getting married soon. But she didn't have a boyfriend now. How could she get married? Besides, she wanted to enjoy her single life for a few years longer. She didn't want to marry someone that soon. Fine, she was going too far. Although there was a 10-year age gap between her and Guning, she didn't feel Guning was a teenage girl, but a matured woman like her instead. Probably that was precocity. Nice. Nice to meet you, Miss Anne. Guman greeted Ankian. Though she was puzzled why Guning had a friend who was much older than her, Guman didn't bother to think further. She didn't limit the freedom of Guning to make friends. She only wanted Guning to have her own principles. This is for Guning. Hope she could recover soon. Ankian gave her gift to Guman. Thank you so much, Miss Anne. I don't know how to thank you for that. Guman was slightly embarrassed because she knew the gift wasn't cheap, but she took it at the end, for it's a gift from a friend. She didn't want to reject the kindness. It's nothing. Ankian wore a smile. End of chapter 6.